Hello, welcome back to Kotlin course. In this lecture, I am going to talk about StatefulWidget. In our previous lessons, you have worked in stateless widget. Using StatefulWidget, we can get widgets that take user input, right? For example, radio button, text field, like so on. So let's get started. I'm going to start a new Flutter project using Android Studio, or also you can use Visual Studio Code for that. Select the Flutter application. I'm going to use project name as Flutter underscore stateful underscore widget, right? Now you have to select your Flutter SDK path. Now go ahead. If you want, you can add your company domain. The very first thing I'm going to do is remove our main.dart codes and start to code from scratch. First thing, we have to define a main function here. Just add main parentheses and curly brackets. Inside curly bracket, call for run app and add parentheses, and inside that we can call for material app. For that we have to import package flutters / material.dart, right? After, we can call to material app and add parentheses here. In the finally add semicolon end of this run app, right? Now inside material app, what we have to do is create a title for this application. Provide the application name here. Let's say it's StatefulWidget. Sample, right? Now we can define our home colon. Let's call a class get user name, put parentheses end of this, and now we can create our class get username and it is extends with StatefulWidget. Now put curly bracket. What we have to do is, you can see a error here. Select that, press Alt and enter at the same time. Now create one machine override. Great. Now what we have to do is, now let's introduce a new class underscore. Using this underscore, it remains our class as private to our own library, right? Now let's call this as get username state, right? Now this is extend with just generic state, right? And add curly bracket. Now this state is expecting the stateless widget. For example, this one. You can call for get username here. After, you have to create the build method, or just pressing Alt and enter and create one machine override, right? Now I am going to create a variable inside this class that can be changed in future. It is string username, right? It is just empty. Great. Now I am going to create a new widget here. Let's return scaffold. Inside this, create parentheses. Inside that, let's define our app bar. It is app bar parentheses here. Inside this, let's introduce our title. It is an text. Let's say this is stateful widget example. Right? Now, right after the code. Now, right after the app bar, we have to call for body and colon. Now let's use the container widget here. As a container, there should be parentheses. Inside parentheses, let's provide the child. We can put column. Children. Children colon, and now we can use widget of array. Right? After inside this, let's provide our first widget as TextField. It is a widget that takes user input. Parentheses here. Now when we user provide the input, we can get that as on submitted method. It is a string, and variable name for that is, let's use user input. After that, put curly bracket. Now this is the function, right? Inside this, we can define our username as user input. Username equals user input, right? After end of this TextField widget, right? There's an issue here. We have to put semicolon, right? Now end of this TextField widget. Now we can put the text, and it is value as your name is dollar username that we defined in previous step, right? After that, let's customize our text as style and providing text style here. Inside this, font size colon, let's use 20.0, right? Now if we run this, open iOS simulator or connect your Android emulator or real device, whatever. I'm just using iOS simulator now. Simulator comes, press this green icon. Alright, we got an issue here. Let's see what's going on there. The reason for that is look at our previous class that we made get username. Here return statement is null. What we have to do here is call for our state class, this one, underscore get username state, right? Now if you run this, right, you can see our design is kind of bad. Now let's add the margin to our container. Go to container and inside that put a margin. As a margin put edge insets dot all, and the value you can provide, let's give 20.0, right? After, let's add the padding to this text widget. To add the padding, I'm going to define padding here. After, put a padding colon, let's provide the value edge insets dot all, and it is value as 20.0, 30.0, right? And now inside padding we have to define our child, and now we can put our text widget here. Cut this and paste it here. Now if we run, great. Now what if type something here and press enter? Nothing is happening. Let's do that. Go to your onSubmitted function. Inside this you have to call for set state for make changes, right? If you press enter, you can create this anonymous function, right? Now we have to put our username inside this set state, right? Now if you run this, now let's add the name here and press enter, right? We got the text as your name is Ashin. Alright, what exactly this set state is doing? When user send the input, that means when user press enter, it removes previous widget from the screen and it recall this build method again and run new widget, right? Before the end of this lesson, I will show you something. Instead of using onSubmitted method here, we can use onChange. What exactly doing this is, when user put one single value here, it execute it is code, right? Your name is A now, and SHEN, right?